enough. No more mockery. I am back and I am re-emerging myself into the cesspool that is this YouTube channel. That didn't make grammatical sense. Nonetheless, in the last 12 months, I put up 3 or 4 videos, kind of a random assortment of stuff I've been up to, but I've decided that I'm going to make a weekly video, sort of a vlog, very low fidelity, no editing, very cut and dry, as is my nature. Laziness abounds. So, what have I been up to? It's very much been the year of Nurgle. The Death Guard army for Arc this year has already been. Took me quite a while, a lot of last year to do. A Nurgle table, which I finished more or less. Could definitely do with some more work, but I've put it to the side. And in the last couple of months, maybe 6 weeks or so, a Nurgle Demon Army, which is very awesome and exciting. And basically the year ahead, the rest of 2018, I've got a list of projects that I need to accomplish. I've got a couple of deadlines. I've got more stuff to add to the Demon Army, which I've decided is going to be my sole 40k army. The Death Guard have taken a sidestep into being my Horus Heresy army, 30k, which I'm very excited about. That's something I need to add to as well. A few of our group are working on 1500 point Centurion format armies for 30k. That's a thing. I won't go too much in detail in this video. I'll talk about that another time. A new gaming table, which you can see part of behind me, which I'll give you more of a tour momentarily. These models, this is all stuff that I'm working on this year, by the way, in case it wasn't clear. These models, Industrial Mechanica Ian McHugh kits, are amazing. I definitely want to get them done at some point this year. There's no deadline for them. I definitely want to take my time and do the best I can with them. Maybe make a bit of a diorama kind of set up for them to put in my display case and fap over. And one other project for this year is a miniature board game which belongs to my old man, who visited recently. He drove over from Adelaide and delivered many boxes of figures that are for a board game which he bought off someone who backed a Kickstarter for the Others board game. The Others 7 Sins is an awesome board game. I'll show you right now. These are the boxes for the Others board game. Some pretty cool models. So you got like hero team, kind of horror versions of the Avengers sort of thing. You could describe them as. Yeah, it doesn't want to focus. I apologize. Yeah, you can see pictures of this online, this game. It's pretty awesome. All the boxes of all the expansions, all the different sins. Because there's 7 sins, 7 versions of baddies. They're sick. So these are something I want to paint at some point this year. I was thinking of aiming for Dad's birthday, which is in September. Maybe at least getting the core box done, which is all the models that are on that box. At least getting that done by September, and his birthday is his 50th birthday. And I can deliver those to him as a bit of a birthday present. And maybe if I can get all the other stuff done as well, that'll be awesome. So that's something that I need to get done this year. Yeah. Apologies for shaky cam. Very cut and dry, very lazy. I'd rather just put some stuff out there. This vlog is about kind of like a diary, a journal, so to speak, a vlog, a blog, all that kind of stuff. It's just kind of putting your creative outlets in, laying it out, just kind of, if no one watches, it's okay. It's more just a place to put my progress and my thoughts and this kind of stuff. So I don't care for production value. So a group of mates, my hobby mates, we're all very excited about creating some content. We started a YouTube channel. A lot of the other guys were interested in battle reports. That's not something I'm interested in. Gaming, I don't do the hobby for the gaming, but I just don't really watch battle reports. A lot of the other guys do. So we jumped into making this channel, and after a couple of amazing videos, a couple of awesome looking bat reps, you can, if you want to look at it, Hive City Hobby, YouTube Hive City Hobby. No link in the description. Fuck that shit. Really good looking stuff, but then it's harder with a group project. I don't know. Didn't work out. Not to say that it won't work out in the future. Maybe as a group, some of us might produce more content in that way, but not at the moment. So with that that project kind of dying, I wanted to make my own podcast, which I did a couple of experiments, a couple of test recordings with some mates, which I might chuck up on this channel anyway. And that also, it didn't feel right, just because I wanted to do like regular videos, regular podcasts, kind of some editing, a bit more work put in than I was really willing to do. So after a couple of tests, I was like, no, I decided to not dive into that project of creating podcasts. That said, I might film a couple here and there if we've got mates over and we're doing a hobby, we want to showcase some stuff or talk about hobby. It'll just be like a mate featuring in these vlogs, which will be coming out once a week, hopefully. Maybe more, maybe less. And you'll see some more stuff. I've got my display case here. I've got my Death Guard and my Noble Demons. Check it out now. All right, there's my Noble Demons. You can see pictures of them on my Instagram, Hobby Guy Mitch. Standing up. The DGs. Converted Typhus in the front. Few infantry. Need to add a lot more infantry for my 30k. And yeah, tacticals, missile launcher support squads, and plasma support squads are going to be in my 30k list. So yeah, not sure. Oh yeah, my table, I can show you that. But basically, yeah, this first video, I just kind of wanted to do a bit of an update, explain the stuff I've been working on, explain some of the stuff I'm going to be working on, and the plans for the videos and this channel. So yeah, that list the other board game models, the demons, the Death Guard, and the table. So the table is something I need to finish. Ideally, I'd like to finish before Preferred Enemy. The tournament in July, June or July, I can't remember, but it's in a few months. I also need to get the demons finished, but I've got all the models for that done. I just stripped, oh shit, don't spill, simple green, a bunch of, it looks like it says Hot M, it actually says Mitch. Alright, what am I talking about? It's reverse for me, but it might not be reverse when it actually goes up. Anyway, Jesus Christ. I stripped these models in the simple green. I'm going to scrub all the paint off now. All these dudes are adding to the ranks of the Noble Demons. I've got a Demon Prince, I'm going to put wings and another arm on. Heavy conversion for him. More Plague Bearers, that's that. That army needs to get done for Preferred Enemy. I've got all the models I need for that, just need to paint them up. And the table. Here is a can with some cardboard stuck on it. It's a refinery table. So the table I'm working on is inspired and modelled off a real location which is near me. I live in Williamstown, right next to Altona in the western suburbs of Melbourne. Altona has this awesome, I think it's a petrol refinery, some sort of oil refinery or refinery. And you can see if you drive down the road past it, they've got, past the chicken wire fencing, you've got all these massive storage tanks which have like walkways that spiral up the side. Probably won't be able to do the walkways, but a lot of the, like the smokestacks and the kind of chimney things that are tethered to the ground by massive steel cables, stuff like that. It's really cool. Big storage tank, big spherical storage tanks look amazing. I think I might be able to make one of those for the table. But yeah, a lot of refinery looking stuff, industrial, a lot of pipe work. And I'm trying to build it on a budget, obviously. I'm not using any GW plastic terrain kits. It's all made from cardboard and cans. Because, I mean, basically, my budget for my hobby is limited, as is everyone's. And I'd rather spend money on models than on terrain, even though the terrain stuff does look really good. If you kit out a whole table with plastic terrain, spending a fortune, you could get a whole army for that. Not to mention I have several other hobbies that cost money, as does everyone, so I'm sure that's understandable. But yeah, with my terrain, I try to make it budget. But then I also get enjoyment out of scratch building stuff, means I can put more time into it. It's unique. It's another outlet for creativity. I can play around with stuff and try and make things look realistic and detailed with just things like plastic and cardboard and household items like metal cans. Like, that's really cool. I get a lot of satisfaction out of that, as opposed to just gluing the kit together, which is why I like converting a lot of the models for my armies. It's like it's an extra step, and it's more another outlet for creativity. So yeah, it's a scratch built table. I'll give you a tour right now. So it kind of feels embarrassing when I show like rubbish, like it's got like Pringles cans and bits of you know, recycled cans and stuff. It's kind of, it looks a bit derelict and cheap, but it's for a good reason. I mean, I think it pays off in the end, so I'm not feeling too bad about it. Anyway, this is my little plan. Did some sketches on paper. This is kind of like a side view of some of the stuff that I can see in the refinery. Some round storage tanks and chimneys and different platforms high up on smokestacks and chimneys and stuff. This is a bird's eye view. So the table's made up of 3 boards, 3 2x4s, and there's distinct road sections. So the other thing about this table is that it's meant to be used for Necromunda or Shadow War Armageddon. So if you use just these two, if you take out the middle board, as you can see here, if you take out the middle board, these two join up. Makes sense? The roads are made out of cork tiles I got from the hardware store. They're for flooring, and I cracked and broke them to make them look like cracked concrete. Glued them all down. There's the board separated, and then the remaining spaces are on these MDF boards. Everything's going to be glued down onto these, so you can see that's like the start of something there. Give you a bit of a close-up. Just using straws for pipe work, some plastic mesh. I'm not actually sure what this is for. Oh, this is for filling gaps in plasterboard, walls and stuff. It's like a kind of a gauze before you put your plaster and stuff on. That just sticks down. Looks like a steel mesh walkway flooring stuff. This is just balsa strips, all glued to just a plastic container. Can't remember exactly what it was from, but just a food container. Yeah. It's a long way away. It's a very, very early days, but I have put a lot of hours into this already. But hopefully I can get this done some point this year. So that's another one on the list of projects. Alright, that's it. That's what I've got working on at the moment. I'm kind of bouncing between the demons and the table, day to day, between little hobby sessions. If I feel like doing some modelling, I'll work on the demons. The first steps require a lot of airbrushing, obviously, so that takes a bit of planning to. You've got to block out a fair chunk of time, at least an hour. You can't just sit down for 10 minutes and do a bit of airbrushing. But I'll be doing that, or I can just sit down and cut up strips of cardboard and glue them to a can. I can even do this. I like little jobs like this that just kind of a bit sort of mindless. It means I can sit at the dining table with my wife if we're watching some TV or something, or I can have a chat to her, and I can just have my little area and put this cutting board down, cut some stuff up, glue some stuff together, and then I can pack it away. So I like those little jobs as well. This is like just a start. I start on the side strips and the cross on the top, and then I add the cross bits and the bands over the top and the ring on top. These tutorials for this exist on YouTube and on the internet. I didn't come up with the idea, I copied it off someone else, but I think it's effective. So yeah, stay tuned. Goodbye.